Good morning. I wanted to mention, David Kirtley, he mentioned about maybe putting a knee under the pin rail, and we really like that idea. Pete actually thought about that later, so I think we might do that. That's a lot better than the bolt.
And the rope only holds it one way. The bolt holds it both ways, but it kind of...
Yeah, but a knee makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Kramer, he said, I know nothing about rebuilding boat systems, but I've rebuilt most of my car, including suspension components that fit together much the same as the Cutless bearing and the shaft housing. All you experienced boat builders out there, please correct me, but if it would trouble me a bit, if I could get a super tight press fit with that Cutless bearing and housing, not sure I would feel good about using epoxy in a position subject to heat and vibration from a prop shaft. That's a position that would be subject to leaking if that glue gets brittle or fails. Actually, what we used for that prop shaft wasn't epoxy. It was epoxy, but it was like a type of filler that it works for metal, right? It's like a... Yeah. And Pete actually used it about 8 years ago. And when we looked at our prop shaft, when we looked at the Cutless bearing this time, after 8 years, what happened with it was that the epoxy that was glued on there didn't break, but the actual metal corroded, and also, you know, the rubber wore. It doesn't get hot because the water runs through that. Now, if the water didn't run through that, that would be not a good thing, but that's why it drips. I do understand your concern, and we kind of wondered that too. We were a little concerned.
And there's set screws too that hold it.
Yeah, and there's set screws also that hold it, but still, I understand your concern. We did mull over it for a couple days. Sensi Dave said, what does Pete do about the termites that land on his wooden floor? Well, you know, we had termites in Norna once. We got her totally tented, so hopefully we don't have them again. But, I mean, being a wood boat, it's kind of hard to avoid, but we do try to, you know, if we see something, we'll run and try to fix that.
Pile in the shop?
Yeah.
Those aren't termites.
What were those?
Those are
Ants.
fire ants.
Oh yeah, those were ants. Those were fire ants in the shop. Hey, we are really looking forward to Pete's music. When do you think you'll post it online?
Yeah, when are you going to finish my CD, Courtney? You didn't like to record me.
I do. I like to record them, but it takes time, and Pete also needs to put a few more tracks. We also need to string up some new strings on my banjo. I got the strings right here. So we just got to sit down and do that. We've just been so busy on the boat that we've got to take time to do the CD, but we've got 4 songs done. We just need to get them mastered, and then they'll be ready. So, what was that box Pete was grinding in? Oh, Summer Davis is asking this about, that's actually a sandblaster. So you can put a bunch of small stuff in.
Come here, girl.
You can put a bunch of small stuff in the sandblaster and then, you know, get rid of the paint.
Come here, Layla.
Darlin Dar asked, personal question for you, Courtney. How long have you had your dreads? I've been considering them in my hair. I sit on my hair. So what is your opinion of getting dreads?
You already answered that.
I did answer it, but then I didn't put it in the last Q&A because my Q&A was getting kind of long. I've had my dreads for about 8 years now, and it's a decision, and it's kind of a permanent thing when you get them. See, when it first starts, they're not as tight, and you might be able to brush them out, but if they start really getting tight, then you can't brush them out.
You gotta cut your hair.
And
he's got long hair.
And you got long hair, so if you do it, you know, it's a decision. It's definitely a decision. And some people's hair, it takes a long time to dread. Like if you have really straight hair, it takes a lot longer. And there's different methods. Like there's the rip and tear or something method, or I'm not exactly sure, but I actually did mine naturally, where I just didn't brush my hair. And what ended up happening is they start combining together. So you have to rip them apart. See, I didn't do that in the beginning. I just kind of left them to stay together, so that's why some of these are combined. But that's why they're so big and thick. See, some people like thinner dreads, and they'd rather have them, you know, real neatly done. Whereas I kind of like the natural approach. So it's up to you, kind of, you know, what you might want to do. It's a very free-flowing thing. and it's different for every person. So the thing I miss about having dreads is I can't brush my hair. Anyways, we're gonna have some breakfast and I gotta go into work, and hopefully I'll have a short day. I'm gonna try to have a short day. It's coming down like buckets. It's daytime right now. Anyways, Pete needs help at the shop, so I'm gonna head over there and getting in all my rain gear. Helped Pete clean the shop, and right now I pulled out the pieces for the bus, and they're all the headboards and stuff and all the stuff that goes around the sides of the bus. So like this piece right here goes to the sliding door, and what we're gonna do is we got some Luan here, and I'm tracing out the patterns onto the Luan. So right here's that's the back hatch. I got this traced out right now to be ready to cut out. Okay, I've just discovered that C-clamps suck. It looks kinda not level, right? Doesn't look level at all. Looks very crooked. But it's level. The pump, or well, not the pump, it was the leak that was underneath the faucet. Thank you, Pete.
You're in.
We're gonna have tea and donuts. See you guys tomorrow.